All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is International Reds Fashion Experience. The topic today is Don't Worry. And the reason why I came up with this topic is because I was riding with my Queen Beverly, and we were over there toward Dublin. There were some horses out in the field. And when I looked over and seen those horses, I was thinking to myself, wow, they look so peaceful, they're so at ease, their tails were wagging, and they were just happy. You could see that they were happy the way they were at peace, right? And I thought to myself, I said, they don't even worry because, think about it, they have nothing to worry about, you know? They know they're going to get fed, they're going to be taken care of. That's like animals, period. They know they're going to make it, and they don't really worry. What happens when something happens, they be alert, and they get frightened when it actually comes upon them. You see, when a fire or something comes at them or something that's threatening to them, then they get excited and they worry at the moment and try to find a solution. See, well, humans should be more like that because let me tell you something. When you think about when you worry, 9 times out of 10, your worry is never as bad as the situation it is when it comes up to, the situation never is as bad as you worried about it to be. It's never as bad. You always worry. That's why they call it worry. You always look at the worst scenario when you worry about it. You're looking at the worst scenario. When if you actually looked at the situation and you looked at the best outcome, you see, because it'll be somewhere in the middle. It might not be the best, but it won't be the less. But it's better for your thinking and for your peace of mind for you not to worry about the worst outcome, but to look at the best outcome in the situation, for is it whatever the situation or circumstances may be. You know what I mean? Look at for the best outcome. Because if you really want to prevent from worrying, and the best way to do it is do everything you can to make things the way they're supposed to be, so when the situation comes up and you have to deal with it, practice, get ready, study for the test, whatever it is that you're worrying about. Like I said, if you're going to get your driver's license and you're worried about passing the test or not, do all the homework you can do, make yourself prepared, be ready for it, so then you don't have to worry about it, because when you go there, you know you're going to pass it because you got confidence because you studied and you did what you're supposed to do. Then you don't worry because when you get there, you're going to handle it. It's within your understanding that you can conquer that. See, when you start worrying about a situation, it's when you really haven't prepared. Most of the time you haven't prepared for it. Because the things that really startle you, that really get to you, are the things that you haven't prepared for. Like certain things people say, don't worry about an earthquake, get ready. Have your what? have your have your supplies, have the things you need for be prepared for when an earthquake or when something comes up. Be prepared so then you don't have to worry. You see. If you're not prepared, well, what can I say? You know what I mean? Don't worry, because if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. If you're prepared, you're prepared. If you're not, you're not. It's up to you to determine if you're going to worry about it or you're going to do something about it. See, that's the thing about the whole thing when you're worried. Either you're going to do something about it or you're going to worry about it or you're not going to worry about it. You know what I mean? You're just going to hope it doesn't happen. And have faith. See, you have to execute and apply faith that things are going to be all right. Everything's going to be great. You know what I mean? It's best to think good, because if you're thinking bad and you're worrying, most of the time those things don't happen no way. And they definitely don't happen with all the time and energy you spend worried about something. See, when I was coming up, my mother used to worry a lot. She worried, and it was unnecessary for worrying about the things she worried about. My father, he didn't worry about nothing. And you know what? He lived a carefree, happy life. Everything went his way. He conquered it all. And he had a jolly attitude about life, and he didn't worry about nothing. He either went and did what he had to do and let it happen, but he definitely didn't worry about that. I never noticed him to worry. My mother, she did worry. So I'm somewhere in between the middle. But as I got older, I don't worry at all now. Very, very rarely do I worry. You know what I'm saying? Because through self-help and PMA and all this stuff that I've been fortifying my mind with, I seem to not worry as much. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen, going to happen. Worrying ain't going to do nothing but steal my joy at the moment. You know what I'm saying? When I do worry about something. So I try not to worry. But anyway, my man, let me give a shout out to Queen Beverly, my queen, because she's also a designer as well as she's also a designer as well as my queen. She's a lady that's good at doing many things. That's why she specializes in hodgepodge, because hodgepodge, you know, is somebody doing a lot of different things. Spices up life in various demeanors and dimensions. And she made the mask. She has the original mask up under the covers that she makes. Made my scarf and my headband. See that? It's all done professionally because she's good at what she does. And a lot of my clothes, a lot of different things, my accessories, she makes. She makes all accessories because we match as we are heart attached. You dig? Believe that. And we do not try to worry. I practice not worrying, and we both enhance each other in the ways that we think. You know what I mean? We think alike because we are the perfect combination. So it's like this here. You know what I mean? When you're fortunate and you're happy and God brings you together with someone and you're able to share these positive, loving things, then you have to be thankful and be blessed and share your joy, you understand what I'm saying, and be happy. You know what I mean? But getting back to worrying, see, don't worry, you understand me? Think positive because you're still in the joy of your life immediately in the present. So you don't worry about that. Say, for instance, you know, different things are going to come up. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the accident that's going to happen. You know, if you have an accident, you have an accident. But don't be worrying about it. Prepare yourself in advance to avoid all type of situations that would lead to an accident. You see, you prepare yourself, have your car running on time, have your brakes, brake fluid, have everything straight so you don't have to worry about nothing happening because everything's together. Say if you have a car and you know certain things are wrong with it, so you're worried about if this going to happen, something going to happen. Because I remember when I was young, I used to do all type of stupid things, not getting things fixed that I know could cause an accident or could cause something to happen. And 9 times out of 10, I might get away with driving with the brakes being bad or something needed done to it, and I wouldn't get it fixed because I didn't want to spend the money, brake pads be low, different things that you did at the time. And I would neglect to get it done. But you know what? It cost me more in worry than if I would have went and spent the $100, whatever it is, to get the brakes fixed. Because when I would not get them done, because I was saying, well, I ain't got the money now, I'll wait. You keep putting it off, you understand? And then what happens when you do that, you worry because you don't know when you might have an accident because you know your car's down at the park and you may have to have a sudden stop and you might not be able to do that. So see, these reasons, you have reasons to worry. You know what I mean? You're going to worry then because you know your car's not up to par and you know you should spend that $100 and be worry-free because, believe me, your peace of mind is worth more than $100. But people don't look at it like that, especially when you're young. See, when you're older, you get things done on time, with time, and you realize, hey, why would I want to worry about that? You know what I mean? When there's so many other things that you have to think about. I try to think about everything positive, not nothing negative. Because, you know what I mean? If you can't do nothing about it and you can't fix it, then don't worry about it. You understand? It's simple as that. But if you can fix it and do something about it, then fix it and do something about it. You know? It's just like when I was young, I got my teeth knocked out. And I used to worry, go to school, and I went to my uncle, I went and talked to him. You know what I mean? And he said, oh, man, you don't look that bad. But I was very vain at the time because I was young. I was like, I think I might have been in my 20s, early 20s. But I was going to the skill center where, it was a school place where you get training for cooking. I never did do it, but I had to do it from being in jail probation. They made you go to work or do something. So I just did a training school that paid me $65 a week. And this was in the 70s, so that was a few dollars. And at the time when I'd gotten a car wreck and knocked my teeth out, and I was very conscientious about my teeth being missing, and women and everything. I would just worry, and and it really wasn't that bad. My uncle would tell me, oh man, he was an older guy, so I listened to what he said, and It made sense. At the time, I didn't see that, because I was young. But I say the older you get, the more you understand the way life is, and you accept things for what they are, and people accept you for who you are. If you have the confidence behind it, they're not going to notice your teeth being missing. If you come at people with confidence, you understand me, and assertiveness, and then you feel confident about it, then they're not gonna trip off of it. It's when you be conscientious and you worry about these things. You know, like a lot of things. You know, when you're younger, you worry more. Like I said, that's understandable. But try your best not to worry. When you get more responsible and you're more older, you realize that worrying about something is not going to do no good, because it's going to happen anyway if you haven't prepared to make it better. Your best thing to do to remedy the situation toward worrying, if you're going to worry about it, is make sure you got everything together so it doesn't happen. You know, if you're driving your car and you worry it might overheat or something might happen, you know what I mean? Make sure you got water you make sure you got water in the radiator. Make sure you have, you know what I mean, all the things that need to be done. Make sure you have those things done, see, because if you don't have the car prepared, you understand me, for the trip you're gonna make, then you may worry. And it don't make no sense to worry about a trip. You finna take a trip and you worry about, you understand me, about, am I gonna be all right? Can I make it? You know, am I gonna be all right? Can I make this trip peacefully, successfully? No, you gotta be in a car that you can rely upon, not no bucket. Something that's gonna take you to the destination. Because I know, like I said, when I was young, I broke down on highways. I've had so many different incidents. And then I ended up getting AAA, and that made me a little more relieved. Because you could call them and depend on them, you know, if something happens. You know, but the point of it is, you be prepared and you be responsible. Being responsible, it alleviates worry, because, first of all, when you're responsible and you fix situations that come up to where you would have a misfortune, you eliminate a lot of that by being prepared. It's like when you was in the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, and they always said be prepared, and they always made you ready for situations. See, being a kid, all that prepares you for different things in life. But when I was coming up, like I said, at the time that all this happened, I was drinking, I was in my disease. Most of the time it was when I was in my disease, when I was drinking and doing all that, and you don't be thinking. Because when you're drinking or doing something on drugs, you don't think about being responsible. These two things don't go together. So when you're in your disease, you're not doing right, you're not thinking right, then you're not thinking about responsibility. Responsibility and worrying, not worrying, go together. Like, you're not going to worry as much if you're responsible, if you're taking care of business. Like if you're getting ready to go somewhere and be somewhere, and you're worried about being late. You get up early and make sure you get there early, then you don't want to worry. You eliminate worry, because you got prepared and you got ready and you got up at a certain time and you got there early, so you wasn't worried. Then if you go somewhere and you got 15 minutes to get there, and then you got traffic. You're sitting in that traffic to get to where you got to go, knowing you're going to be late, you're worried in that traffic, because you didn't get up early enough. You should have got up early enough knowing the traffic, or called and found out about how the traffic is, how the weather is, and so on and so on. Be prepared to know so you can form the habit of being on time. Because if you're not on time and you're late, and it's something that matters, then you'll be worried. If it's something that don't matter, it's not a business meeting or nothing like that, then you may not care, and you may not even try to be efficient about doing it. You may not worry about trying to be there on time. But 9 times out of 10, when you're worrying about something, it's never as bad as it is, but you can eliminate worrying, like I said, by being prepared. Be prepared. Make yourself prepared so you don't have to worry. You see, because worrying shouldn't be as big as a deal as it is. You dig? But it is. It's a major factor in our nervous breakdown, nerve things. You know, nerves, all that. You know, have something to do with why you worry more. Some people worry about the littlest things. You know, and then other people don't worry about nothing when they should be cautious and thinking about it. They don't have to worry. See, it's a difference in being prepared and in worrying. That's what people don't understand. You got to feel like, well, hey, I'm going to get on top of this and get this car working and get my battery, a new battery, and get this stuff, because I know I've had problems before. Do all the things you got to do, and then bam, then you get in the car and drive. You're not worrying because you did what you had to do. But when you get in the car, you know you got an old battery, and you had problems with it before the car didn't start. So when you get in the car and you got an appointment to go to this job, you're going to be worried because you set yourself up for worry because you wasn't prepared. See, if you eliminate all that, you'll have more peace of mind, and you eliminate the worry that you could have prevented. You see, most things you worry about, you can prevent them from happening if you be prepared and take care of business. You can eliminate it from happening. You know, the things that you can't do nothing about that's going to happen, well, you don't need to worry about it because it's going to happen anyway. You may not know when it's going to happen, but don't worry about it happening because it may not happen. And then if it does happen, bam, it's going to happen. You can't determine that. It's just, you know, it's faith. And that's what you have to have. You have to have a little bit of faith that things will be all right, that things will be good. And the best is yet to come. You have to look at things in that respect, that the best is yet to come. You know what I mean? It's going to be greater later. You got to be thinking on them terms, man. You know, you got to be thinking of the best. That's why I said, you know, it's just like people that worry about how they look. When they go somewhere, they say, oh, I don't look good. Look, you left the house. You had some clothes you could have put on. You came out the house looking like that, so why worry about it now? If you'd have came out looking your best, then you wouldn't have to worry about people talking about you, whatever the situation might be. See, these are things you can prevent. So if you don't care and you don't give a darn, then you go out the house looking the way you look, curlers in your hair, house shoes on your feet. Well, you ain't going anywhere particular. Enjoy that comfort and just do your thing, go shopping and do whatever you do, and don't worry about it. You know, as long as you comfortable, it's what you feel comfortable doing and looking like. And this is what people got to realize when they're out running around doing what they're doing. They didn't think about how they look till they seen you looking good. Then they start worrying about how they look. Oh, I don't look good. I don't want to get in the picture. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It happened yesterday. I was with somebody. They didn't want to get in the picture. I understand. Getting in the picture might not be as comfortable because you don't look as good. But so I understand. Then you don't take the picture if you don't want to. That's your prerogative. But the point of it is, don't worry. You know, be who you are and be what you are. And don't worry because it's still enjoy. Be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? If you look a certain way and that's the way you are, be comfortable with it and be efficient because if it's not bothering you, don't worry about the other people. You know? If you don't feel like going to a club or going somewhere because you might feel a certain way. I know some people are very conscientious about it. I had a friend. He was more conscientious when my tooth was missing. And it got to where it didn't even bother me. You know? Until I got fixed. When I was young, that tooth bothered me. When I was young, like I said, it bothered me really bad because I was vain about my looks. But this last 10 years ago, when my tooth, I lost it and broke my tooth. My flipper. It didn't bother me. I'd be sharp and looking good. And I didn't care about my tooth. Because it was something I wasn't going to fix. Because at the time, I didn't want to spend the money. It was too expensive to spend that type of money. So I didn't do it until I was able to get the money. I took my time to get it done. But it didn't bother me at the time because I was older. And I figured, you know, I'm not going to let my teeth determine who I am and what I am. You know, I'm going to be confident and be who I am and everything. And you know what? It didn't even bother me. I'd have somebody say, my friend say, the one I told you that was vain. He'll say, man, your teeth this, your teeth that, or something. You know, I said something. And I'll think, now why are they worried about me? They're trying to put this on me. They're trying to make me worry about something I'm not worried about because they're worried about it. See, that's another thing. People will tell you things to worry you. People that tell you, you understand me, that, hey, you ain't supposed to drive in this lane and somebody else is close to you. There's a certain way you're supposed to drive. No, you drive the way you've been driving as long as it's legal and you're not getting a ticket. Here you are, you ain't never had a ticket in your life. You know, I'm not speaking to me, I'm speaking to somebody else. Because I had my share of things. But listen, they had never had a ticket in their life and they in their 60s. Somebody else going to tell them about driving. You understand? Not to say that the other person doesn't drive good, but the other person don't drive as much as they do because they stay on the road and they have never had an accident, never had a ticket. And they're going to tell you how you're supposed to do this and do that because of... No, you listen to what they say, but you don't worry about that. So some people worry about every little thing. Like I said, they worry unnecessarily about things that may not never happen in your life. But they hear about it might have happened to somebody. You know, some people, that's why some people don't like to look at the news too much. See, some people, they look at the news and that'll affect them. They'll start worrying, you know, when they see certain things happen on the news that you know, they'll feel bad about it. Now, me, I don't let that affect me. You know, I don't worry. But I understand why some people would feel that way. Because the negativeness and things that's on the news could make somebody feel that way. You know, but I'd be looking at it for it being informative. But like people, you know, when they tell you things, you know what I mean, to worry you or upset you, you know, you got to play past that. That's why I say be around people with a positive mental attitude. And they're going to keep you on a positive force and keep you optimistic and positive and having faith. You know, because you don't need to be talking to people that's going to be worrying you about, telling you about things you need to be worrying about. You know, because it's not necessary. You do not need to be worrying. You know, your life will be much happier. You know what I mean? You make plans, though. You do make plans. See, you make plans because I remember when I was traveling. You used to be able to do this, though, very, very simple. Go to the town, you know, jump in and just get a hotel. Go to the town, don't make reservations, and get your room. Right? Well, the last time I went there, couldn't find a room, had to go all over, worried about finding a room. Fortunately, we found a room after so long of looking, you see. But I found out, no, you look online, you get a room, you make reservations before you even leave, so you got the room there, so you got to be looking to pay them expensive rates. You know everything about it, get a room there. See, back in the day, we used to just pop up and the room would be available, and you just pay it. Nowadays, you almost have to have reservations. You know what I mean? You have to have a credit card. So you have to have all these things. Otherwise, you will be worrying about where you're going to stay or what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we were just fortunate enough to find a room. Most people was having reservations. You know? Most people had reservations. And and when they had reservations, they made sure that they made them in advance and paid the bill. You see? And that's how you got to do in these modern times. Me coming from the old school, I'm not used to doing that. But I see that that's how you have to do it so you don't have to worry. Because otherwise you get somewhere and have to worry about where am I going to sleep. Because they may not have a place available. Like we happened to go to Vegas, me and my partner Silky went to Vegas, and they had a car show. And everything was booked up. We didn't know it because we went to this party. We call ourselves going over there to the, you know, to a player's ball to film us in a birthday party. We didn't know that we was going to have any trouble finding a room. We didn't know this, so we was worried. Because we went all over, and it was like someone was astronomical, $200 or $300 for one night everywhere we went. It was way expensive. You know, when they did want to give you a room, I'm talking about we go to these flop houses, these places that were not, and they was charging astronomical prices, $200, $300. Because it was not, people had made reservations, people had to use their head because they knew there was something going on there. We didn't. We were thinking that because he had a nephew there and I got a decent, we almost come to the group. We said, we're going to find out. We're going to stay with our family some kind of way. We were thinking, then we went and found a place way outside the town, out near Sparks, out there, you know. We found a place that was reasonable, and they acted like it wasn't a convention where we was at. 25, 30 miles outside of Las Vegas, we got this place. And we was, you know, made it happen. But just think, to eliminate all that worrying and all that heartache, and 3 or 4 hours we went around trying to find a room. Man, make reservations. Be prepared. Make sacrifices to go take the trip in advance, make plan it out. And this is what we're doing now. We're planning it out. So when we go somewhere, we know we're going to have a room. You know what I'm saying? Because things are not like they used to be. You used to be able to jump up and go somewhere, you understand? And just get there and get it. Man, I've been doing it for years, man. I'm telling you, I go across country. And then we'll have a reservation and just pop up, bam, get a room right there, walk up, bam, get a room. ID, cash, money, not even a credit card. Now you got to have a credit card. You can't even go jump up and not have a credit card. You have to have a credit card now. So see, things have changed, and you have to change with them. Otherwise, you will worry. You know, it's just like the internet, get on a computer. I had to get on that because I was behind in times when it came to that. Cell phone, all these things you got to be on top of. You have to adapt to the new way of living. You have to go to a new way of life. You got to deal with it. A lot of people don't understand that. They worry. You know what I mean? The ones that are not are being, we call them dinosaurs, that are behind in time, most of the older people that are behind in time, they end up worrying. They worry because if they're going to travel, they know they got to make reservations. They got to do all these things, make preparations. Then they don't know how to use the internet. They don't know how to, you know what I mean? I went to computer class, so I knew how to go there and do that. I learned all this. Like when I wanted to travel, I got a car. I rented a car. I had to make reservations. I had to make preparations to make the reservations. You see? Because everything is, you got to have a credit card. You got to pay. So what I did, I had made sure I had a credit card. I had a credit card and did all that. Because you have to do it to do what you do. So I did it. But the point of it is to eliminate worrying. The key to not worrying is do all you can. You understand? To alleviate the worry. What I mean by that is you prepare. You prepare yourself. What I mean by preparing yourself, you do the research, you do the homework, and you also say what can happen if I don't do this. What's the worst that could happen? And look at the worst scenario, and then you get back to the drawing board and do more research, more preparation, and then you get to where you alleviate worry because you've did everything you could do to eliminate it from happening. So therefore, when something happens, it's unavoidable. It's nothing you could have done because you did all you could, and you didn't worry about it. It just happened. You didn't worry about it along the way. It happened. Then you deal with it at the spot, because it's never as bad as it is, and it's always a solution to the problem. There's always a solution to whatever comes up. If your car breaks down, you understand me? You're stranded out of nowhere. You know, it's always going to be a solution. There's always going to be a way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's always going to be an end result. You're going to end up on the good side of that result. It might be sooner or it might be later, but you will come out on top if you make the preparations and you worry less and prepare more. That's how I say. So let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to conclude my show. You understand me? And give you next week, you understand me? My next show will be, it'll be, I think, the 23rd. I got Beverly and It's Love and Happiness. It's going to be the show. She's going to be my co-host. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you then. This is the Fashion Experiencing. This is the Fashion Experience signing out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day and live a wonderful life. And don't worry. Everything will be all right. Believe that.